Let's see when Ali Carter came back and, also addressed it.
All right, let's dive into this wild saga that's been shaking up the internet lately. It all revolves around Ali Carter, who's been making waves by pulling back the curtain on some seriously dark corners of the entertainment industry. She's not alone in this fight. Jaguar Wright and Katt have also been in the crosshairs, and the stories they're telling are enough to make your stomach turn. Buckle up, because this is a long, twisted ride. So, Ali Carter came back into the spotlight recently, and she's not holding anything back. She's been dropping bombshell after bombshell, claiming that someone's been hunting her down, stalking her, and even trying to take her life. This isn't some random conspiracy theory either. She's pointing fingers at powerful figures in the industry who, according to her, have been doing unspeakable things behind closed doors. And no, it's not just about Diddy, though his name keeps popping up. Ali's saying the real mastermind behind these attacks is someone else entirely, and the reveal of their identity is supposed to leave us all floored. Let's rewind a bit. Ali's been vocal for a while now, but her latest claims have taken things to a whole new level. Just a few days ago, she went live on Instagram, and what she said was straight out of a nightmare. She talked about witnessing firsthand how some big names in the industry, allegedly tied to Diddy's circle, have been involved in horrific acts against children. We're not talking about your run-of-the-mill scandals here. Ali described scenes where kids were forced into sexual acts with animals, horses, and dogs, while these sickos recorded it for their own pleasure. She said they'd hang these poor kids up with metal chains, performing what she called satanic rituals on them. Most of these children, she claimed, didn't survive, and the ones who did were left broken beyond repair. It's hard to even process that kind of evil. Ali didn't give exact locations, but she insisted she saw it all while working in the industry. She painted a picture of kids being tortured, hung upside down, blood dripping from them as these monsters stood underneath, soaking it up like it was some kind of twisted rain shower. She tied it into the whole adrenochrome thing, that conspiracy about elites harvesting kids' blood for some fountain of youth effect. But she went deeper, saying people don't really get how far these folks go to strengthen the blood through torment. It's the kind of stuff that sounds like it belongs in a horror movie, not real life. Now, you might be wondering, whose kids are these? Why aren't we hearing about missing children all over the news? According to Ali, most of them aren't from the US. She claims they're trafficked in from impoverished third world countries, shipped over like cargo. And if you're keeping up with the Diddy drama, one of the charges he's facing is human trafficking. People assumed it was just about his infamous freak-offs. But Ali's saying those events were way darker than anyone realized, with these rituals allegedly part of the mix. Speaking of those freak-offs, Ali didn't stop there. She spilled some truly nauseating details about what went down at Diddy's parties. She said he'd bring in underage boys and girls, but the boys had it especially rough. They weren't allowed to eat anything before or during these events. Apparently, Diddy didn't want them puking or needing to clean themselves out while his associates had their way with them. But here's where it gets even more deranged. Some of these associates allegedly had a fetish for bodily fluids. They'd pick out certain boys, force them into acts that'd make them lose control of their bowels, and then make them lie in their own filth while it was all recorded. Ali even mentioned a specific event she called Pig Night, where the starvation was intentional. Because if the boys ate, they'd throw up or worse, and that'd either ruin the vibe or, for some of these creeps, play right into their sick fantasies. Ali's been living with the weight of these memories, and it's clear it's taken a toll. She said when she was part of those circles, they'd try to feed her and others before these jobs, but you couldn't eat, not without risking a violent reaction from the people in charge. If you messed up their plans, they'd make you pay for it, sometimes forcing you to eat your own vomit or wallow in whatever came out of you. It's a level of depravity that's hard to wrap your head around. Naturally, the industry isn't thrilled about Ali airing their dirty laundry. She says they've been watching her every move, and lately they've stepped up their game. She's been hunted like prey, stalked, attacked, her home broken into. A few weeks back, she showed a video of her place after some goons trashed it. Lucky for her, she wasn't there when they showed up, but they left it in shambles as a warning. She's not just scared for herself, though. She's terrified for the people around her, the ones who didn't sign up for this fight but are now in danger just by association. She even named some of the folks she thinks are behind it, claiming they leaked her address and hired thugs to come after her. In that same IG Live, Ali got emotional, talking about how her whole life's been upended. She showed what used to be her beautiful 3-bedroom home on an acre of land. Now it's gone. She and her family were still paying rent, trying to move everything out when the harassment escalated. Her address, her license plate, all her personal info, it's been spread around by people tied to the industry, making her a sitting duck. She's not asking for money or pity. She just wants people to wake up and see what's happening. She's fighting for the kids still trapped in this mess, and she's got a baby on the way, which makes it all even more urgent. The authorities? She says they're no help. Some of them might even be in on it. This isn't a solo crusade either. Jaguar Wright's been in the same boat, calling out the industry for years. She's faced her own attacks. Last year, she got arrested over something as petty as not returning a U-Haul truck on time. Most people don't go to jail for that, let alone sit there for days. It reeks of a setup, a message to shut her up. But Jaguar's not backing down. She's talked about how they went after Katt Williams, too. Armed men breaking into his house while he slept, trying to kill him. He got out somehow, but it left him so paranoid he started wearing a Kevlar vest to bed every night. Imagine that living. In so much fear you can't even sleep without armor. Jaguar's been vocal about how the industry's ignored Ali's warnings. She did an interview recently, blasting everyone for turning a blind eye while Ali's been screaming the truth. Jaguar's had her own breaking point. She walked away from it all because she knew staying meant either death or becoming a killer. Herself. She predicted they'd start little fires everywhere to distract people, and she's been proven right time and again. The public's starting to take notice, though. Some fans are rallying behind Ali, pointing out she's been at this for years without asking for a dime, just trying to shine a light on the kids suffering in silence. Others say she's got receipts, evidence to back up her claims, and she's not some grifter looking for clout. But of course, there are skeptics too, folks who think it's all too wild to be real, like something out of a twisted fairy tale. So, where does this leave us? Ali's still out there dodging these attempts on her life, and she's made it clear she's not stopping. She wants the world to know who's behind it. So, if she turns up dead, we'll have no doubt why. Jaguar and Katt are still in the fight too, battered but unbowed. The question is, can they keep escaping the industry's wrath? And are people ready to face the ugly truth Ali's laying bare? That trafficking and abuse on this scale isn't just a rumor, but a living, breathing horror show? What do you think? Can Ali keep outrunning these shadowy figures? Will the industry ever face real consequences? It's a lot to unpack, and the answers aren't clear yet. One thing's for sure. This story's far from over, and it's only getting messier. Naturally, the industry isn't thrilled about Ali airing their dirty laundry. She says they've been watching her every move, and lately they've stepped up their game. She's been hunted like prey, stalked, attacked, her home broken into. A few weeks back, she showed a video of her place after some goons trashed it. Lucky for her, she wasn't there when they showed up, but they left it in shambles as a warning. She's not